And so, my fellow Americans, ask not what your country can do for you, ask what you can do for your
We are the last Americans. We are the last Americans. We are the last Americans.
Yo, yo, yo!
What is
What is going on, man?
the last Americans?
Something like that?
Yeah.
So aggressive. I like it, man.
Welcome.
Greg, yeah, your throat. You got a little cold, man.
Yeah, you know, it's a little scratchy over here.
Yeah.
I'm not gonna lie.
It's that northwest weather.
Kinda
Is that what's
sucks.
going on?
Dude, I don't know. I blame it on my allergy medication.
Oh.
Well, I
Like,
mean,
I was trying to tell you guys yesterday that, like, I started taking this nasal spray, and I'm like, okay, yeah, it's working. Like, I'm like not getting any allergies. This is great. And then I find out side effect of the allergy medication is it weakens your immune system.
Wow.
And so I'm like, oh,
I was thinking maybe
So I
that
basically
that
just
that
killed
nasal
them
drip fucked your throat up.
oh yeah, bro. I don't know.
I wonder why that
We'll
would
see,
be. Like, if it just eliminates, because isn't mucus? I mean, it helps you a little bit, doesn't it? Like, no.
Well, so your allergies are an reactive immune system, and so it kind of kills off the certain cells that attack, you know, your like autoimmune.
I always heard that if you
Disorder.
cut your nose hairs, like if you trim your nose hairs a lot,
Oh yeah.
that it's actually like can make you sick, because like your nose
They act
hairs
as a filter. Yeah.
kind of acts as a mini filter, and it actually can make you sicker by having.
I don't ever cut mine.
I trim them because they can start to curl
Like
out.
if they start curling
Pickles.
out, I just
Yeah.
I pull them.
I don't pull them. That's what are we doing here, man? Like, are
Okay,
we
bro.
barbaric? What the hell's going on? Just shave it.
No, because then I have shit going in my nose.
Yeah,
I
get
don't
up
want
in
going in my nose.
True that. Okay.
Well, then you
either way.
gotta wash it off before you shove it up there, dude.
Yeah, man. You put a little hair gel in
And
that
then
thing.
and then you got to buy one more fucking gadget you got to keep around, and it's just no. If you have one that's dangling out and
Usually
curling,
it comes in a set.
pull
you know what I
that
mean?
one.
Yeah, I mean, I usually just I'll trim my beard up with my razor, and then I'll just I'll do that, get that.
Chris is like, trim. What is this
trim your
word?
beard.
What are we talking about?
Hey, man, I can't grow the glorious beard that you have. I'm much patchier. I wish I could, because I'm jealous. I think it's an amazing beard.
I mean, I do trim it. I don't trim the.
That is
length,
true. Chris has a thick fucking beard.
He has a
dude.
thick beard, dude. I'm not there yet. I've been thinking about like doing some of those micro roller things or whatever. The who knows, or just be happy with what I got. I guess.
I mean,
You know
You're
what
gonna paint it?
No, you put that cream on. You know, you can do like the Rogaine or something, but they have those rollers that like kind of penetrate your skin, and it allows like this the kind of vitamins to get into your skin, helps you grow your beard. But you're not supposed to do it
Okay.
too often. A lot of people do it on their heads and stuff too. Like, it just kind of leaves little holes, and then you put like Rogaine in, and it kind of gets into your scalp and helps you grow.
the fuck?
You should look it up. It's interesting. It's been a couple of years. It's been going on, even longer, I'm sure. But
And it works.
yes, yeah. But the problem
Chris
with
is
it,
like, what kind of weak man shit is this?
well, say, listen, like my brother has a healthy ass beard, bro. Like, he always has
does, yes.
been able to grow
It's
a
true.
very strong beard quickly, and
Yeah.
I'm like, the fuck is this, man?
I mean, this
you know what I mean?
this has been what, a few months.
Yeah, I was going through pictures, doing some thumbnails and stuff a couple weeks back, and I found that picture of Chris when he had like a real short beard, and you're just like a
it
turtle.
was just like stuff.
You were so skinny, and you were just like, "Brr," like your
A
head.
turtle?
Yeah, dude, it was very turtle-like. Like, if I was to add like a shell to you, it would be perfect.
Okay.
The new Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles, right here, dude. Mr. Hulk.
Yeah, I think like the picture of Chris on our old website is actually the really trim bearded Chris.
Super refined,
yeah.
which is
Yeah,
cool.
where it's just a little more than stubble, and you got the clean cut
Clean cuts.
lines.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, man, that's like
See,
I'm going out to a nice dinner.
Yeah.
Look.
The look that I liked the best on Chris was the long mustache look.
The long
Like, just
mustache
the
was
mustache.
good. Yeah, that was good too. But
Oh yeah, I like the mustache. This one's long. You just can't tell as much because the beard is also
gotta
long.
wax that thing. You know what I'm saying?
I do have some wax.
Good.
I just don't do it all the time.
There you go.
So I want to say real quick. Yesterday, man, we had our first show. Thank you guys who followed.
Yeah,
that.
it was great to be on it.
Yeah,
Oh, it's
Greg.
like, oh,
we had
shit.
some technical issues with Zoom.
Yeah, that was bullshit.
It was sucky, and we still have a little glitching here and there, but we're getting it figured out. And I'm glad you're on, man. It was
Dude,
weird.
we
I don't
gotta
know-
find something besides Zoom.
Yeah,
Zoom
Zoom's
is not
been-
the answer.
Yeah, Zoom's a
problematic.
piece of shit.
Yeah, man. I know it's good for like a meeting or something, but there's so many issues with Zoom across the board. So we'll figure that out. But
And of course, we've never had it be that bad in a long time.
yeah.
And then all of a
It just
sudden,
happened
like
on
the
the
first
first
show we're
episode.
gonna do with this, and it's like,
That was
nope, you're
that
not
was
doing
the
it.
worst. That was absolutely the worst Zoom experience I've had ever. Was yesterday.
Yeah, that
It really
was.
was.
It was pretty bad.
We actually did about 10 minutes of a show with you, and we had to just stop because you were literally sounding like a fucking Puff Daddy song. You were
Well, then Greg,
you know,
we were
I
like
was
doing
like
the
T-Pain,
show,
dude.
Yes.
and Greg's sitting there, like he's just sitting there like this, and then he texts us. He's like, "I've been talking for a minute, and like nothing is going on."
Yeah,
Yeah.
it's part of the problem with Zoom. It just is what it is. But we got some options, Greg. I know you've been looking, but regardless, man, glad you're on the show. This is episode number 2, the Last Americans podcast, and trying to get used to saying that. And you know what? It was cool, man. We did the show yesterday, and I was really happy. Dan came in, and he came in from Drinking Bros, and he's just like, "Hey, man, love the name, love the fucking logo. Like, this is great. You guys, he wants to help us out. Try to get on the show. I think Chris might try to get on the Citizens podcast next week.
Yeah.
And eventually we'll be on Drinking Bros again once we work all that
Which
stuff
I'm
out.
actually a little nervous about.
You shouldn't
to
be.
be completely honest.
Really?
I'm not good at talking by myself like that.
I
It's
hear
weird.
you.
I'm not good at doing talking like that.
That's why, right?
I might have to have a couple hard AFs.
I ain't
before
no
go in
good
there.
at this talking thing.
And then,
We'll
and then on
find out
top
how
of
it
it,
goes.
like Dan's not the most like talkative. Like,
He is
person.
talkative
like,
during the show.
I don't know. It's just
He'll ask questions. He does a great job.
I'm gonna have to have a beer before I go in. For
I
sure.
doubt he cares at all.
Well, I'm gonna need to.
Yeah. So those things are coming up down the pipeline, guys. So we appreciate it. Thank you, guys. If you have not subscribed to the channel, make sure you do so. To all of
Yeah.
our platforms. If you're listening
Everywhere, including Spotify.
right now. Absolutely.
And do my favorite thing, right? Leave a 5-star rating and a review on Apple Podcast.
Yes.
Dude, actually, that's very important because we have 0 at this point. We're
Yeah.
starting
Yeah.
over. So
It's starting over,
Do
so
it.
it's gonna be all new reviews Greg can read on the toilet.
yeah.
Yeah, I say starting over, farting over. All right? So I will be on the toilet reading those reviews, and I will love every minute of it.
Absolutely, man. We have some really cool articles, man. I want to dive into a lot of this right away. If you don't mind, I got a weird one I want to start with. It's I want your opinion because I saw it and I was like, oh, this is so up Greg's alley, dude. I just felt like it's unique. It's kind of scientific, but not really. It's kind of bizarre and a little fringy. I don't know. It's a little bit weird, but Vampire Dad.
Vampire.
Oh, yeah,
Dad.
dude. That's right up my alley.
I'm
I
injecting.
sleep in a coffin, bro.
This is what he says. I'm injecting myself with the blood of my teenage son to keep me young. I'm on a mission to never get old. This is a multi-millionaire named Bryan Johnson who's attempting to slow down his aging process through a series of bizarre blood transfusions. Now, he actually was, interesting enough, he's 45. He's a tech mogul. He clearly
He's
is
ripped as fuck.
He's vain as shit. Like, we can admit that, right? This guy is clearly very vain about
What's
his
his
images. His name is, that's right.
Oh, okay.
What is
Bryan
his name?
Johnson.
Bryan Johnson. Super basic.
Bryan Johnson.
Basic bitch name right there. But he used previously he received blood transfusions from healthy anonymous donors who he carefully screened to ensure that they had the ideal body mass index and were free of diseases. But then he took it up another notch, and he's now recruiting his 17-year-old son Talmaj to swap blood plasma with. What do you fucking think of this, bro? A, do you think
I'm
this even
pretty sure
works?
his name's I'm pretty sure his name's Patrick Bateman from American Psycho.
Oh, yeah.
Oh,
Yeah.
he does kind of look like
So-
that, doesn't he?
Yeah, I feel like this is something that we've talked about. They've been doing this for at least a decade or two.
Sure.
And remember Ambrosia, the blood transfusion.
Oh yeah, in California.
company. Yeah, so they specialized in this. So there is something about transporting or transfusing the blood of younger people into older people that will help reverse the aging process.
Yeah, I actually
And-
read a thing a while back where they were doing that with mice.
Yes,
they
they were.
testing it.
They were.
And not
uh,
only that, but you can do the opposite. Like you can age the
Yeah.
younger mice by putting old blood into it.
How
right?
weird
So
is
that's
that?
creepy as fuck.
Well, see, here's the deal. I'm not trying to go to that fringe aspect. We already know about some of the, the other things that happen and some certain Famous people that may or may not be utilizing techniques.
Well, that's the thing is like we don't know if famous people are doing this, but why would they not be?
Well, yeah, if this guy is, I mean,
Mm-hmm.
I guarantee he's not the only one.
But here's the difference, though. In the situations when it comes to like the Clintons and the adrenochrome and all that kind of stuff, right? That whole thing, like that was generally people like supposedly taking people and abusing them and all this other stuff. So like this, from what it seems, is he's actually going through a process.
Voluntary, right?
Yeah, he's getting blood transfusions from healthy donors, anonymous donors.
God.
Yeah.
But
Scroll
then his
down.
son.
Look at the wife beater photo. Who the hell is grabbing him from behind? Is this Grandpa?
Whoa.
Is this Grandpa Bateman?
What the heck?
What's that say right there? Scroll down. What's that title say? Johnson claimed to complete the world's first multi-generational plasma exchange
Yeah,
with
so
his son
I think
and
that
dad.
is his dad.
Oh my!
That's
That
such
looks
a
like
weird,
Joe Biden.
That's such a weird
What's
family
Joe Biden
photo.
creeping around? Someone has to put Joe Biden's face on that. And make it a meme.
Apparently, blood transfusions give you really large nipples as well, because those things are fucking sausages in there. You see those things?
Are they?
God.
Look at those. His son's got like Alex Johnson nipples, man. They got the little tiny polka dots, and then he's got the real round.
That's such a weird photo to do.
It's like a pregnancy photo.
Yeah,
It is.
He's
It's like holding his belly.
Yeah.
And look at the son,
Yeah.
like resting his head on the shoulder like a freak.
Boy,
Why?
listen. Some families are just weird. Obviously,
Okay,
they're weird.
there has to be at least one thought going through one of their minds going, this is fucking weird.
You know what this picture is? This is if American Psycho Patrick Bateman had a son and a father.
Yeah.
Okay. That's exactly what that photo
Well,
is.
do you think it upsets him, Bryan Johnson? Do you think it upsets him to see his dad look old because he knows that he's going to be eventually there? Because some people are so
Well,
vain.
duh.
Yeah,
Maybe.
well, I'm just saying he's like
Yeah.
really close with him. He's like, I'm doing this because I don't want to look like you. You know what I'm saying? When you're whatever age he is, whatever
wonder
age
if-
your dad
I
is.
wonder
it's not
if-
just his dad. It's like
his
old
dad's
people
70.
in general that he sees.
His dad's 70 years old.
Yeah.
So
I wonder if he's
But
getting.
I mean, I'm like
Go ahead.
his dad's not the only old person that I'm sure he sees in his life. You know what I mean?
Sure.
yeah, but it's his dad.
Yeah.
I mean,
Yeah.
if you're gonna grow up to be anybody, it's your dad.
I know, but that's what I'm saying. You look at him and go, man, he's not very healthy, or he's got a lot of problems. That maybe drives you to do something like
Well, he
this
said
even
they
more.
did the first multi-generational plasma exchange. So did the dad grandpa take
Oh yeah, dude.
blood from the
Yeah.
grandson?
Yeah,
I'm
probably.
assuming, or not just his
No, not the
45-year-old son?
grandson. I think the dad took blood from the Bryan Johnson guy,
Yeah.
and then Bryan Johnson is now taking
blood
blood,
from his
from
son.
his son.
See, why wouldn't they put the younger blood in the oldest guy and see what happens?
It's weird. Like, this is a little weird. Like, how my question to you and the listeners is like, how far are you willing to go to actually stay as young as possible? Because like we know that like obviously in some aspects exercise and diet and being healthy obviously helps you live longer.
Yeah.
But then there's also like, are you willing to do blood transfusions? Like not doing it the gross way, but I'm saying if you had like a donor and you could do blood plasma transfusions with younger people who are
now,
very healthy, would you do
This
that?
this is probably like a weekly thing that he does, and this is an interesting case of this too, because it's not just some random Joe Schmo's blood that you're pumping into your veins. This is like your family. This is your bloodline, right?
Yeah.
And you kind of have some incentive if you're the young one. Like you want your dad to survive. You want him to live longer. So why
Sure.
would you not help him out, right?
Yeah, and a
So
lot of people wouldn't
it's
find
different.
it like that weird, right? You're like, it's just a blood transfusion. Like you
Well, that-
donate blood all the
but
time.
That and when you're young like that, you regenerate your blood a lot better than someone older would. So it's not like you'd be giving it up and then
Well, here's the thing.
now you don't have it. It's not like giving an organ to somebody.
This was in Texas, bro.
Was it?
It was a Resurgence Wellness, a medical spa in Texas. They all three visited, and the son donated a liter of blood, which is 1/5 of his entire blood in his body. Which, yeah, I think a liter is probably, I don't know, I'm sure it's standard.
It's extreme. It's
But-
not. It's like you can't withstand that for a long time.
But, dude, I mean, would you do this with your kids?
If my dad wanted to do it and I was that young, I probably would help him out. I'd be like, yeah, let's go try it out. Because I mean, I'm going to make more blood and I'm not giving them a kidney or anything.
I mean, it's
You know what
definitely not as weird if it's you're all family and doing it. It's
For sure.
I feel like it's weirder if it's strangers.
Like an anonymous
But
donor.
this guy, this guy is like a
Maybe not anonymous, but if I don't know, man. I don't know how to feel about it.
Dude, this guy is like one of those BioShock guys. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like Ben Greenfield, you know, where
Sure.
they take like this biotech stuff and they put it in their body and see what happens. And he's a biotech entrepreneur, and he aims to have all of his 78 of his major organs functioning as if they were in the late teens.
Yeah, I
saw
get
something
it.
like he has like the skin of a 28-year-old, the lung capacity of an 18-year-old. He wakes up at 5 a.m. and takes 24 supplements, exercises for an hour, and then drinks a green juice with creatine. You know what I mean? Like, come on, dude.
Yeah, no, it's cool, but here's my issue with it, man. Like, one thing to be healthy, right? It's one thing to like want to be healthy and to be spry and energetic. I look at something like this and I say, okay, this is fine. Like, you want to try to get your most out of life. I get it, but the problem is it's kind of like a mental disorder in a way, in the sense that like when you get older and you will age, like you're going to get to a point where you're not able to do the stuff you used to do. And then it's going to lead to me as a person this vain, it's going to lead to serious depression.
Maybe.
And being miserable because you were, it's like, you know, those women that constantly get facelifts and Botox because they always feel like they're not pretty enough and they want to look young again. It ends up being a hot mess.
It's like a body dysmorphia thing.
Yeah, it becomes a hot mess, bro.
It's like a bodybuilder. You know what I mean? When a bodybuilder gets old and they can't lift as much as they can.
Oh yeah, they get real like
You know what I mean?
saggy and like
Yeah, it's just like
Their
you
muscle
gotta get
deterioration.
depressed, right?
I was watching this guy. I don't know who he was, but there's a dude who's actually talking about people that work out a lot are generally die younger. Did you see this guy? I can't remember his name.
Because they like take
Stress,
supplements
like
that
body
stress
stress?
the
Well,
hearts and
his
adrenaline
thing was
glands.
he's like, you know, you have like how many athletes actually live past 70, 80 years old? Like athletes that should be the prime examples of human body, right? They've been working on their body their entire careers, you know, getting fit, staying fit, being athletic. He goes, they always have like issues when they're 60, 70, 80 years old, whether it's like their body's breaking down,
Joints,
obviously.
and
They have heart
the
attacks
joints,
at record paces. They have, you know, brain issues. And he's like, you don't see that with people who just sit on a couch.
That's true.
Even though they get
some
fat
of the
and
oldest
gross.
people in the world live over hundreds.
Yeah.
Hundreds live over 100 years old. The oldest people, they've always just I just sit here smoking my cigarette,
Yeah, it's
drinking
weird.
whiskey.
Yeah.
Not condoning not working out. It's very important to work out. I'm just saying it is a weird concept to think
Yeah,
about.
like a lot of those people that live the longest tend to be the sloths of the world.
It's
I
because
think
they're
it has something to do with your bloodline. Like, what are your genetics? Like, does it allow for you to actually take in these toxins and remove the toxins quickly? Because some people digest and get rid of toxins a lot quicker than others. You know what I mean?
But he was more saying that like people that tend to be couch potatoes, for example, although that is not healthy by any stretch of the means, they're not putting wear and tear on their bodies. So he's like, they don't like they're not like
Well, they kind of are internally. You know what I mean? Like, you're not
Organ-wise,
moving
maybe.
like your blood.
But I'll
like,
tell you
you're
this,
just
my
kind of clumping up
Well,
stuff here and there.
I understand just like sitting there doing nothing 24 hours a day. Yeah, that's not good.
Yeah, but he was
just
talking about rigorous exercise.
But just doing like normal everyday stuff, I think that's the people that end up living the longest.
It's
like
a weird
the,
thing.
The trend like that looks that way. Like
I think it follows that saying everything in moderation, including moderation. Like,
sure.
yeah.
if
But,
you
like-
exercise hardcore, like take some time off and recovery.
How long be-
Actually, recovery is one of the most important
You're
parts of.
Of exercising and stuff. Yeah.
My great grandma outlived my great grandpa, and he was very fit, very active, fished a lot, was out and about a lot. She was morbidly obese, and she actually lived many years longer than he did.
Really?
And she was in her late 80s. My grandmother, who is obese right now, she is in, you know, she's late 70s, and she's very obese, and it's like, it's not healthy. I'm just saying, like, it's weird that what we always get told is like when you're really overweight that you're gonna suffer a heart attack probably at a young age. And I'm like, I don't know. You know, my grandpa's very active and he's in his 80s and he's still active. You know what I mean? But he's a lot more fit than my grandma. You know what I mean? So it's kind of a weird like genetic.
Well, I mean, there's women tend to live longer than men in general.
Yeah, but
And-
if you're 400, 500 pounds, bro, like I just feel like we've been
Yeah,
told
that's
that
true.
like that you're not supposed to be living past your 50s and 60s when you are your whole life has been, you know, up in weight like that.
Have you guys heard of the studies and stuff that I've heard several people mention this and like read some things too, that they're very close to making aging a disease.
Yeah. I've heard
And
that.
like they're actually close to being able to like have treatment for it so it doesn't happen.
Yeah, he's doing it right now.
I mean, not just this, but
Blood.
like there other things they're doing. They're finding the genes inside people that are causing it.
Sure.
Yep.
Joe Rogan said
it's
it.
The oh, go ahead, dude.
Oh, I was just saying, Joe Rogan was talking about with one of the dudes on there, and they were saying that like it wouldn't shock them that if you're in your 30s right now, like our age group, that by the time we're old, that they could actually have a lot of reversing things that can allow us to live to 120, 140. Like it wouldn't be shocking, especially for our kids.
Yeah.
Which will be like the Bible days.
Yeah, man.
I mean, like Chris already looks like Moses.
I know shit.
Might as well change his name, bro.
We need to give him like some stone.
He's the holy man.
Oh, God.
Yeah,
Part the seas.
I just thought it was an interesting thing, dude. I'm curious that, like, I think health is important to people, and, like, being healthy and living a long time, especially when you're at our age and you have midlife crises, and you're like, oh, my God, I'm halfway to death, you know, if everything goes well. I think that, like, this stuff is, I'm curious what people would be willing to do. Like, are you willing to do that?
I think there's treatments out there that exist that not the everyday people know about. True. I mean, you got to look at Judge Ruth Bacon Cheeseburger, okay?
Sure.
Ruth Bader Ginsburg, everybody who's not aware.
Yeah.
Bacon Cheeseburger survived how many bouts of cancer? I mean, she survived pancreatic cancer. Yeah. I mean, that's like a 95% kill rate or something, right?
Yeah.
So, I mean, she survived all of these cancer things, and you're like, okay, well, what did she get, and why can't we all get that?
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Well, even Feinstein's like 90, bro, 89 years old, and she looks like fucking death. Clinton's looked like a fucking skeleton for fucking 7-8 years.
Yeah.
And it's like, bro, he's still walking the beaches, shockingly.
Look at Jimmy Carter.
Exactly, dude.
All of these presidents live to be like in their 90s.
Yeah,
you know what I mean?
They get
like,
that presidential dose, bro. You know what I'm saying? I don't think they're going to give it to Trump, though. They're like, fuck that guy. But yeah, it wouldn't shock me to see Obama be 110, dude. Big Mike, well, you know, she's going to, I don't know about that
There's something happened with the Carter one, though. I mean, you see how small that guy got?
Yeah, he's shrunk.
I mean, you look at the picture with Biden's and him, he literally looks like a puppet.
It's just an optical illusion, Chris.
He's like one of those people that put the hand up the butt and does the, like, ventriloquism.
He's like, I don't know what dose you guys gave me, but I'm smaller.
Yeah.
I'm Jimmy Carter.
Well, actually, they say small bodies actually live longer than large bodies, as far as like height even. If you're tall, you are more likely to die young.
Well, okay, if you're like ridiculous, if you're like 9 feet
the taller
tall, like
you get,
the giants,
6'6", shorter life.
Then how come there isn't like 110-year-old midgets?
Well, because I feel like that's another kind of a variation of an ailment.
I'm just going off your.
But I'm saying if you're just like
not
like your wife at just like 5 foot, just under 5 feet, like They say because your limbs are so long that your heart has to pump harder to get your blood through your entire body.
Oh yeah,
so tall people get enlarged hearts.
Absolutely. So it's interesting. That's all I want to say. I thought it was weird that somebody would actually go this far to take blood from their child in order to keep their vanity.
Well, I mean, clearly that he's talked to a lot of people that are
he's rich.
Say, hey, this is a possibility, and they're like, let's try it.
Yeah, interesting enough. But Greg, what do you got next on the docket here?
Dude, I want to talk about the U-Haul and the Nazi flag found inside.
Yes, I do. I want to talk about that as well.
So
that was
this
awkward.
morning, there was a driver who had a U-Haul, and he just crashed it near the White House. And they just miraculously pulled out this Nazi flag and perfectly laid it down on the concrete for everybody to see, right?
Yep.
And for the media to take pictures of.
Yep. So when did this happen? Because last night when I was up until maybe like 1 a.m. and this was already on. I saved it to my feed.
It looks like it happened late at night. I mean, I have some bookmarks. The video of him actually crashing. It's only an 8-second video. But
did you find this strange?
Dark.
When you first saw this, you were just like, this seems really oddly set up. I told myself that.
It seems like a setup, dude.
Yeah, I literally was like, I almost didn't even pay much attention to it because I'm like, this just seems like some government, let's try to make this, because everything played out weird. The whole crash scene was weird. And then, Greg, to your point, laying the flag. Come on, dude.
Well, like, watch the crash on this 8-second video here.
Okay.
It's literally like the guy doesn't have to accelerate that fast, and he doesn't have to get stuck, and it's really just he gets caught on a curb.
And they're all watching it, like no one's doing a thing about it. If they were concerned, I feel like they'd be putting bullet holes in that fucking vehicle.
Right? So he was like just sitting there, and then he's like, "Oh, I gotta get out of here! Pull it up!" Okay.
Oh.
So then he just gets caught.
That's it?
Oh boy.
Like, what happened
That's it.
before this?
He just
pulled in and parked, and they're like, okay, now slam into that pole.
I feel weird because like why did he do this multiple times? Because somebody's obviously filming.
Yeah.
I don't know. It didn't really show it, but I mean, yeah. Well, my thing is like, who's recently got caught using U-Hauls? Right? Patriot Front.
Patriot Front, yeah.
Remember that group?
Yeah.
Yep.
Man.
And so you had Patriot Front just recently shut down a subway. Was that in New York City?
I believe, somewhere around there. Yep.
And then you have Biden coming out saying the worst problem in our nation is white supremacy.
Yep.
And now you have this U-Haul with a Nazi flag in it. All of a sudden, just get caught right in front of the White House.
And an empty U-Haul. There's nothing in it. But all of a sudden, the driver has these things sitting in the front seat with him.
Yeah,
But then you had that fertilizer that went missing.
Dude, I'm so glad you brought that up.
In fucking California.
Yeah, I wanted to bring that up because
what was it, 30 tons of explosive shit?
Dude, it just went. It's no one knows where the hell it is. That nitrogen.
It was on a train, bro.
Yeah, it was on a train, and it just gone.
Did you hear how this worked out? There was a train that I believe left Wyoming with 50 fucking trucks of this stuff. Each individual train. I don't know what the exact
train
word is. Cars. And when they showed up to where it was supposed to be, like 2 weeks later or a week later, whatever it was, one of the compartments was completely empty of fertilizer, which is the same fertilizer that was used in the bombing in Oklahoma City bombing.
Imagine that. God dang it!
If you go, can you go bring up my TikTok real quick, please? I want to keep on this because I think this is still relevant. By the way, because it's interesting, but. I'm glad you brought that because I totally forgot about it until you just started talking. I was like, oh, man.
Dude, it fits into this whole thing that's happening right now.
It does because it feels like something is being set up. So if you go to the third one. Play this one real quick. This has to do with the 30 tons of explosive chemical missing from a train.
Okay.
Of the explosive chemical ammonium nitrate have disappeared from a rail shipment out west. Chemical is commonly used in fertilizers, but it was also used in the deadly 1995 terror bombing of a federal building in Oklahoma City.
How many tons?
The company shipping
33?
the chemical says a train left Wyoming last month and arrived at its destination in California with one car completely empty. The company says it's investigating.
Of course it's investigating, right?
It's investigating. Okay, so how weird is this?
We're investigating the matter, quote unquote.
So here a while back, there was an article and we looked into something. They were doing nuclear testing and nuclear training, right?
Houston.
In Houston.
Yep.
Then this shit goes missing.
Yeah.
And then now 50 fucking senators are getting satellite phones in case of emergencies.
That's another thing, right?
Yeah.
So that's another
Sounds like something's
that I
getting
have
set
up
up
here, right?
Yeah, and
So you had this report that was confirming dozens of senators are being issued taxpayer-funded satellite phones in preparation for a, quote, disruptive event.
Yeah.
So it's like, why would they be pushing for this, quote, disruptive event? You have all of this white supremacy kind of setup stuff that looks like it's happening, right? With the Patriot Front, the Nazi flags, the U-Hauls.
And that's kind of been the trend with the whole white supremacy thing, right? That they're always the ones that were attacking like the power grids, and up in Washington and all the other states over on the East Coast. It was always white supremacists shooting these things.
Yep. So now it looks like there might be an explosion coming.
Well, it's
with
just
this
like
ammonium nitrate.
Yeah, and I think you're going to see like a setup on some specific, fringe group, quote unquote. Because you have this situation where this man was arrested at the White House. They actually, I think they arrested him for like wanting to kill the president. Is that wrong? I believe that's what it said. Regardless, U-Haul situation. You have the Patriot Front. You have the missing fertilizer. You have the phones. You have the Houston prepping. You have all this stuff falling into place. Now, here's the thing. I looked this up. 1995. Apparently, it says prosecutors today presented evidence allegedly linking Oklahoma City bombing defendant Terry Nichols to the purchase of 2 tons of ammonium nitrate, the main ingredient used to build the bomb. So 2 tons.
Yeah.
30
This
tons.
is 30 tons.
Missing.
Yeah.
Now, we're talking about being able to level out a whole city block.
Easily.
Yeah, or if not multiple power sources, right?
Yeah, absolutely.
So,
yeah.
And
let's
then
go.
wasn't there
2 tons can go to Washington, 2 tons can go over to
that's true.
Wisconsin.
Because it's
2
not going
tons
to
can
take
go-
the whole 30 tons to blow something up, dude.
Well, and it's also like, you know, do you see them attacking like the FBI buildings where they can actually like evidence being, you know, listen, they went after the Pentagon. You know what I'm saying? Like when there's certain things like the Trade Center had documents inside the Trade Center and it was destroyed. Pentagon.
Well, it was like the next day after they announced they had lost track of billions of dollars.
I'm just saying,
Building 7.
If you're looking at like, if you're looking at the FBI, for example, and you're saying that it's super, super corrupt and that they have all this evidence that they're not sharing with people, okay, if something happens to that FBI building, for example, like how they would easily be able to say, we don't have any evidence anymore. It's been destroyed.
Yeah. But then you can find out who these people are. You go, oh, well, these white supremacist people, they actually work for you.
Yeah.
They were paid informants.
I want to hop back real quick to what you brought up with the U-Haul, because what we didn't really get to talk about was the way that they laid out. It was
the flag.
Yeah, it was just so like,
yeah,
to me, it was such a photo op.
Right? So unnecessarily just perfectly laid out.
Yeah.
Right? Yep. Like usually if a cop or somebody finds something inside, they'll put it in a plastic bag or a paper bag, depending on the evidence. And then they'll just like put it off to the side, right? Or they'll give it to a team and they'll you know, take it away.
Yeah.
Yeah, this was
is
photo
unnecessary.
op. This was a photo op, in my opinion.
Yep. Absolutely.
The way that they sprawl, and the video I had on TikTok is of the police having it laid out. There's video of it, and then they just roll it up and take it away. There's no reason to do that. You know what I'm saying? No. Like when if that was in the U-Haul and you were a cop and you were looking at it, you would be able to immediately know what that was when you're in the vehicle looking at all the stuff in the video. Like, oh, fuck, it's a fucking Nazi flag. You know, and you just leave it in there for evidence, right? But no, you spread it out, make sure it's nice and flat, make sure it's no corners are folded. We want everybody to see this.
There's no questions what that is. That's a Nazi flag.
As soon as I saw that, I immediately like flipped to the next video and was like, this is a bullshit setup right here. That's my initial take.
Were people on TikTok actually saying like, oh my gosh, look at this white supremacist that they just caught?
It's a biased thing, right?
There's a mixture, probably.
It's a biased thing because, you know, who you follow and what you follow is going to give you all the stuff that you want to see. Exactly. So most people were saying, like, this seems too orchestrated, too perfect.
You see the side of the U-Haul has an exploded ship. It's like on fire.
I did see that.
Yeah, man. The old pirate
ship. Whoa,
ship.
Show that. What does that say?
What does it say?
Nova Scotia. And it's got
it's got a signal, everybody.
An old pirate ship, a battleship.
What happened at Nova Scotia?
Oak Island.
It's Canada, Canadian province.
The Freemasons hid a bunch of treasure on Oak Island.
Oh, did they?
And they burned a ship in the harbor to hide where they.
Are you making this up right now?
No, that's real.
Okay. I felt like you were just giving us a story to.
No, that's real, actually.
Dude, I'm looking this up. Nova Scotia Freemasons.
Yeah, Oak Island, bro. I fucking watch the show every week.
How much of a threat was this guy really?
Probably not at all.
I mean,
I don't know. I mean,
why do it with a U-Haul? Like, why rent a U-Haul?
Because we have the precedence of the Patriot Front and Nazis using U-Hauls to carry their members.
Like that sign on the side of the vehicle says "Mom's Attic."
Yeah, the little storage space.
That's because they're incels and they live in their mom's basement usually, but apparently attic this time. You know what I mean? I don't know, man. Listen. I feel like it's something. I doubt it gets much traction, or people are going to care much. But I just think
I don't know.
I think it's to me, it's like a piece of the puzzle. Like a lot of people are going to overlook this, but I think this is one more piece that they're just trying to get in your heads that look what these people are doing.
Yeah.
Look at the flag we found. We want to display it for you because they're trying to affirm the fact that Biden thinks that white supremacy is the biggest issue in this country. When in reality, I don't think most people fucking think that's the case at all.
Well, these satellite phones that the senators have, they said that this was partially in response to January 6th because of the protests and all that stuff.
Sure.
They're kind of preparing for another event because it's election season, everybody.
Because they're going to lose?
I don't know. It depends on the 50 senators who actually took them. But sure. I don't know. This is saying that it's being funded by U.S. taxpayers. I don't know what security. Is it being linked to Starlink? Is this how these satellite
I have
phones
no
work?
idea. I just know the commander in arms or whatever his name is, that guy. He's the one that went around and was like, here's the phones to everybody.
This is a quote, dude. It says, a Department of Homeland Security advisory said satellite phones are a tool for responding to and coordinating government services in case of a, quote, man-made or natural disaster that wipes out communication. So they're asking these senators to have these phones just in case our communications get wiped out. Very strange timing.
That is strange.
Is it not?
It's strange. I mean, but there's
like how
but it's not that strange.
Has this ever happened before? Where they're
I don't
like
know. That's the
anticipating
question that you always
communications
have to
being
look.
wiped out, so now they're giving all the senators sat phones?
Yeah, I don't
That's
know.
a great question, though. Like, because we have to kind of look at precedents and what is the natural thing, or what's the standard.
You're
Have
right,
they done
though.
this before?
Yeah, you're right. Because like maybe we just never heard about it, but it's a common thing. You know that they get. We don't know. Like maybe like anytime there's a security threat that they're concerned with, they get this phone just in case something goes down. But I have no idea. We don't have a precedence because we've never heard it really done before.
But then also, if there is some kind of security threat, what is that threat?
Well, it's the American people going up against their government again. I mean,
Probably.
it's like,
Well, then why would
so this is the first time that, like, now every election we have to have an emergency declaration.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Is that where we're going?
Well, they're not getting anything right, man. They're not fixing any problems. So, I mean, if that's the case, like if we had an election where people felt like it was done right and that they could trust it enough, we wouldn't have these problems.
Yeah.
But they just keep putting this stuff off, man. They're not talking about the issues with it. And of course, in 2022, we didn't see much of a change in the major issue areas, and we're going to see probably a lot of that in 2024 as well. I mean, honestly, what's going to get fixed before 2024? I would not shock me that Arizona is going to be a hot mess again. And
well, no, because like Carrie Lake's lawsuit just got thrown out, and so she's going to have to take that to the Supreme Court. We'll see what happens with that. But it's just like you have people questioning that process, and nobody's really addressing the questions. They're just saying like, "You're fake. These are secure. Don't worry about it." And I'm like, that's not really addressing the root of their questions, and that's what's getting people suspicious. You know, it's like, oh, the spidey sense is going off. You're not answering these questions how you should, you know?
And also there's been too many things over the past months, years that have, where you consider conspiracy theorists for thinking such a thing and then having it come true.
Yeah.
And this is talked about nationally. Joe Rogan, every major application is like, yeah, actually.
Yeah.
And when you have those yeah, actually situations, then, these ones, people are not going to just let go of it because they're going to, even if it's, let's say there is zero, which there's not. There is definitely fraud. But let's say there's zero. People are still going to hold on to it because they're like, until it's done and done, I'm not going to fucking drop this because there's a chance. And that's what's going on right now.
Well, and like you said it before, like that's one of the most important fundamental rights we have. So why wouldn't you fight it to the end?
Well, dude, it's the same thing that they did with Trump and the Russiagate. Like, they would not let that go. People on the left, people like who hate Trump, they wouldn't let it go until they saw the evidence that says, no, it's not. But even after you have all of these people come out and say, like, actually, it was Hillary Clinton who set up that whole Russiagate thing, they still believe it. They're like, no way.
Yeah.
No way that Hillary set that up. Like, she knew that they were the Cozy Bear and Fancy Bear. They were monitoring the DNC and all this stuff. So it's like, yeah, of course she was trying to set something up. She was just coordinating the events to, get them moving on it.
Yeah.
It's like, no, like she wrote a script and a story and had a meeting with Obama and he signed off on it and said, okay.
Yeah.
So Obama knew about it.
Yeah, we'll see. We'll see what happens.
One other thing that just popped into my head about this whole fertilizer thing and then the training and now the sat phones. Do you remember like a year or so ago, I feel like we talked about when the federal government bought all those like radiation doses.
Not
It
really.
was like a bunch of medication that they bought.
Iodine?
I don't know what it was.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
I don't really remember.
It was
that.
iodine, bro.
Was it? I remember hearing something about that they bought like millions of dollars worth of like anti-radiation medicine.
Well,
They also were buying up the guns there for a while, weren't they?
Yeah, they were, I think.
So something's weird.
Yeah, but you know what, though? Like, if you go back into, like, the Cold War era, you know what I'm saying, where there was, like, legitimate threat of a nuclear war.
They say there is now.
I know, but what I'm saying is like, we had schools buying gas masks. We had children doing nuclear warning tests in schools. And that was all alarming and shit, right? And so, listen, there's a line where it's like, you want to be prepared for this kind of shit because, I mean, even when it comes to, like,
I found it right here, Chris. It says U.S. purchases $290 million of drug for use in radiological and nuclear emergencies.
Yeah.
This was October 2022.
The only thing I think makes this different than the Cold War situation is we were all well aware of a situation that was happening, of a situation that could go bad.
It's almost like the same kind of situation could be, but they're kind of keeping it in the dark.
Yeah, it's like, so what is the preparations and all this stuff? Why is it happening? Who is the actual threat? Because they're not, is it Russia?
And then that commercial that New York put out.
China?
Yeah, the one in
the
New York.
The nuclear fucking bomb commercial that they had.
Yeah. I'm just saying, like, I feel like they're hiding more.
It's all of that, Dave. I think it's Russia, right? They're going to blame Russia, but then it's also white supremacy. And you're going to have these links with Russia and Trump and Russia and white supremacy and Trump.
I don't know where
they're going to connect the triangle.
How does the white supremacy have to do with nuclear, though?
It's just they're going to be ground agents for a foreign government infiltrating our government. Like Russia will send over their troops or whatever and invade us via secretively and these white supremacy groups.
Yeah, see, I can't get on board with that. I don't feel like anybody's going to come invade.
The Russian sympathizers.
Yeah, I just don't feel like that's right. I don't feel like that's it. There's not enough, and I just don't see that happening. Like that's like out of the realm for me.
I don't know if they'll blame the whole thing on Russia. I mean, they usually do, but I think
they have to tie it into Trump.
I think the radicals that they're calling the Trump leftist or Trump extremists are going to be the fall people.
Yeah,
for
that makes sense because I mean, what's your talking point against Trump? Like, how does Trump endanger America?
Yeah, but I don't know if they have to go that far with
supporters.
I don't know if they have to go that, because then they have to prove it, and that we've seen that they can't prove a lot against Trump. But what they can do is, if there was ever a situation like that where it was something scary, they could come out and say, because of Trump's policy and because of his weakness with foreign policy, he allowed this to fester to the point that this happened, and that is something that you can not prove it, but that's something easier to kind of intake for somebody who's on the fence already. Rather than saying that there's this huge, Nazi force in America.
Foreign policy, I mean, Biden's been in there for 3 years, dude. So, I mean, you can't really blame Trump now.
No, you can't. But they will. Like, of course they will, dude. They still to this day do. They still to this day say, because of what Trump did to the world, because of his policy, because of his demeanor, that, we've lost position in the world and that they don't trust us. And like, it's nonsense, dude. I agree with you 1,000%, Greg. It's been 3 years. Like, there's no reason to blame Trump for what kind of bullshit, Biden's falling down the stairs again at the G7 summit, dude. Like, come on.
Yeah.
Like, this is not Trump anymore. But they still will try. I think they'll still try to do that. Like, he weakened us. That's what they're going to say. He himself weakened this country as far as like being a global power.
I feel like they're going to apprehend some of these people. And they're going to find that they support Trump, and they're going to try to link the two together. Oh, these extreme MAGA supporters are stealing ammonium nitrate. They're stealing U-Haul vans. They're joining these Patriot Front groups, and they're trying to blow out our communications. Right? It's the perfect setup.
Yeah. I agree. I agree. I mean, it's going to play out. Like, how do you do anything about it? Like, you see things happening. You aren't all that convinced of it. At least, a lot of people are just going, nah, this is not real. That's not real.
All you can do is bring awareness to it. Yeah. So that way people are aware of it, and they see the bullshit too, and they go, wait a second, this isn't right.
Yeah, but you know what? God forbid something actually does take place where it's a setup or it's not. Either way, something happens that's really traumatic and devastating. Now you got people who are going, this is bullshit. This was a fucking government thing. You have some people are saying, that this is not, and now all of a sudden there's even a bigger divide. Yeah, it's going to be messy no matter how you look at it, and that's what they want. They want a complete divide on it.
It's the perfect distraction for them right around election season.
Yep,
of course.
Maybe to take control of election season. Have some implications like, hey, it's dangerous. We don't want people out. Everything's mail-in.
We can't have people out voting because of the danger.
Yeah, right.
Did you see the FFA? They came out and did like a warning to Black Americans that they shouldn't fly into Florida because it's dangerous.
So what was that all about? Yeah. What was that really all about?
I don't really know. I think it's just the policies, they disagree so much with the policies in Florida right now that they're just warning the black community that if you go there, it could be dangerous for you.
But that was like the National Black Coalition of Federal Aviation, or was it the actually?
I don't know.
Was this something like, that was geared towards,
It was race baiting, is all it was. You know what I mean? Like, it's literally them trying to like stir up shit that's ridiculous. Florida's perfectly safe.
Actually the FAA came out and said that?
I don't remember.
Oh. See, that's why I didn't really look into it, because I was kind of confused about it. I was like, why would they just warn black people not to fly to Florida?
It's a weird one. It's a weird one. And NAACP issues travel advisory for Florida, says state has become hostile to black Americans.
Dope. Okay.
I mean, what evidence do you have of that? Like, what for what? What policy was issued that makes you feel like you're unsafe? Says aggressive attempts to erase black history and to restrict diversity, equity, and inclusion programs in Florida schools. So is this about this is about that whatever school thing.
Yeah.
Okay. Well, I mean, I think that's race baiting as well. I don't think that black people have anything to worry about traveling to Florida. So, I mean,
you should tell them not to go to Chicago. I mean, that would be probably scary if you want my honest opinion.
Right.
Like, don't go to Chicago. Don't visit family in Chicago. It's risky. Yeah. I don't know. This kind of stuff is just nonsense to me. This is race baiting, and it's bullshit. And Florida's a safe state. It's just as safe as any other place that you're going to go to. So, my thing is, you do stupid shit, you have stupid shit happen to you, so just don't do stupid shit. You know what I mean?
Agree.
Excellent advice.
Stupid shit, stupid prizes. There you go. Win-win.
I got another like quick story I thought was just kind of sad. Honestly, it was kind of
Let's do it.
Kind of sad, but it's Casey Rivera. It's this gentleman, dude. Like, he fucking got hit by a car and killed, man. And he was helping ducks across the street.
Oh God.
Whack whack.
Like, this guy is just being a nice fucking guy. Apparently, they pull over. They see a bunch of ducks, a family of ducks, dude. And he got out of the vehicle, and he was ushering them across the street to make sure no cars hit him. And as they crossed the street and they got into safety, he turned around and a fucking car came out of nowhere and fucking hit him and killed him. And it's like your final moments of life is you doing the nicest thing possible, which is fucking saving ducks, bro. I mean, it's just people are. It's not. Listen, this is not like some huge, like, long ass story.
It's like Final Destination.
It's just like fucking ridiculous, man. Like, were you just not paying attention? And was this car like hauling ass? Like, what's going on here?
So
dude?
He was fatally struck by a 17-year-old driver, and this story talks about like his wife, and he fell madly in love.
Yeah.
When they were 17 years old. So it's
boy.
like, what the hell? This is weird.
17-year-old driver.
Yeah, it's like 17 years of love.
Yeah, she joined his high school as an exchange student, and then they remained inseparable for the last 23 years.
But like, I feel like this is a really bad. You can make a really bad pun on this with, "Hey, why did the ducks cross the road?"
Oh no.
You know what I mean? Like, and you could just go off on this.
The worst part of it,
very poor taste.
The worst part of it is this quote here. It says he got out of the car and shooing the ducks, and everyone was clapping because he was being really nice. Said a 12-year-old. This guy got out and people were like, "Yay! Like, good job, buddy. Thank you."
And then a guy just
fucking boom, dude.
Oh shit!
What the hell was it? That car right there?
I don't know, but it's like fucking.
Like everyone was people were taking pictures of him doing it.
I know. Like, how come the car didn't slow down at all? So a bunch of cars stopped and shit, and there's a guy in the fucking road.
Oh, whoever that 17-year-old kid's an idiot.
Well, I mean, yeah, that's some like manslaughter shit, probably, bro.
Oh yeah.
I mean, just think that guy saved the lives of 12 little ducklings, though. You know what I'm saying? They don't even know what happened.
Yeah.
They even know the hero of the day.
Those little ducklings will actually go to his funeral. That would be impactful.
That would be pretty nice, though.
He leaves behind an 11-year-old daughter and a 6-year-old son.
Yeah, it's really fucking sad, though. I mean, they've raised $43,000 for the guy,
and they had to watch
the family. Huh?
And his family had to watch it.
If a 12-year-old seen it, dude. A 12-year-old seen it. Like, a bunch of kids seen it, dude. Like, and they were cheering for him. Like, how, like, like when you see somebody do something like really nice, you've seen it. We've all seen it, right? You see a gentleman helping an old lady across the street. You're like, man, what a great guy. That's a great fucking guy right there. Like, what a great gentleman. And then boom, car hits you, flying through the air, you die.
It's like that scene from, was it Tommy Boy or Black Sheep? I think it was Black Sheep, where they're in the car and they got the nitrous gas.
Oh yeah.
And he's like, oh, I just seen a bug hit the window. It's crazy. He's like, just flying along. My life's good. Bang! Dead.
God, dude. It's rough. And you know, here's the other thing too, is like when you see somebody do something nice, I know you guys feel this. I know every person does. You see somebody do an act of kindness and you tell yourself, I need to do better. I need to do more nice things for people. Like that makes me feel good. I want to do more now. But then he gets hit and you're like, no, I don't. I don't want to do it. I don't. I want to do
nice shit. It's the same thing when you let somebody go in front of you. You go, hey, you know what? Today I have the option to pass this person because there's 2 lanes here.
Yep.
But I'm going to just go right behind this person. We'll go right through this light. I'll let this person take the lead.
Yep.
And then they're slow as fuck and you're like, damn it, I should have passed.
Or you let them go in front of you and just to be nice, and then the cashier closes the lane right in front of you. And you got to go to the other one.
The big one that pisses me off is when I let somebody go and then they make it through the light and I don't. That one I'm like, motherfucker, dude. Now I got to sit here with this nonsense.
Yeah.
And that guy's like, haha, fuck you, thank you. You know. But here's the deal. Like, I'll say this just to end it on this guy. Like, you know what? He did something very nice, and it was something that a lot of people witnessed. And listen, it's like ducks, you know, at the end of the day. But he was trying to do something nice, and he lost his life doing it, and it's ridiculous. And that 17-year-old is obviously stupid as fuck, and I'm sure that's life-changing for that person. I doubt they meant to do it. We never know what the situation was, but that's horrendous that people witness this, especially kids witnessed it.
Yeah.
I mean, that's a terrible thing. That's going to make those kids never want to walk ducks across the street.
Yeah.
So,
fuck ducks.
Yeah, they just have a hatred for ducks the rest of their life.
Yeah, what else you got, Greg? You got anything else to cap her off?
Yeah, how much time do we have?
I don't know.
About 10 minutes.
Yeah, man.
Okay, because this story I found kind of fascinating but disgusting at the same time. Okay, the shocking truth. This is a story from Zero Hedge. Unwashed towels rival toilets in bacteria counts after just 3 days. All right, so I don't know how often you guys wash your towels.
Every time I use them, honestly. Like I
only
just,
one.
Like,
you only one use.
I rarely ever. I mean, sometimes if there's one there, like if I know like my wife had just took a shower or something, and there's like a towel there, and it's relative, because I don't like wet towels. So if it's relatively dry, you know, I'll probably use it. But for myself, I use a towel, and then it's in the dirty clothes.
Dude, mine hangs there.
Well, now
for days.
this does call out like the high humidity found in bathrooms.
Yeah,
right, can spread this rapid bacterial growth.
Oh,
sure,
okay.
And they can appear clean to the naked eye, but then you have those tiny little thousands of bacteria that are just microscopic, right?
Ooh. Look at this, though. The germs contained in towels can cause skin disease, hair loss, urinary tract infections, and even spread drug-resistant bacteria that can be fatal.
Yes. They bring you higher risks of death as well.
Damn,
so it's like, are they trying to scare us to death from our towels?
Listen,
hold on. How in the fuck does a little microbe inside your towel that you just wiped with your clean body now going to have bacteria that is drug resistant?
Yeah, right.
I don't know. I would say that, like, I mean, maybe like with the, you know, what oils are still on the skin or being damp. You know what I'm saying? Like damp stuff is always, you know, something you should be worried about.
But the only way they become drug resistant is if they're exposed to those things, isn't it?
Yeah, but it's
so Chris, how often, like, how dry is your butthole? Okay, because you got to dry that thing off too on that towel. True. Okay, your towel's coming in contact with a little scrapey wipey.
It does.
You know what I mean?
Yeah, man. And also, like, you know, when you take a shit, you're in the bathroom, you take a shit, that smell that you smell when you're by the shower, the shit's just landing on your fucking towel, man. It's poop particles.
Yep.
You know
Viral warts on your feet? No, I don't know. So,
you just,
this is just like one of those studies.
You're shitting, and then you're just leaving it, and then taking a shower?
No, but I'm saying when you smell shit, that is fucking shit particles.
Oh, yeah.
So when you take a shit and the bathroom smells like shit, flushed and all, like there's still like this little microbes.
And when you flush the toilet,
I don't usually take a shower.
Sprays up, dude.
It sprays up, so you got to close the lid when you flush it.
Yeah, man.
Because all that whirly whirl will go up into the air.
Yeah.
like the Tasmanian devil.
I don't usually shit before I shower. I don't like getting the shit smell and then having it be steamy, and that just is gross.
Ooh, see, I think the worst is shitting after a shower. 100%.
you feel
That is
I don't
so
get, I
gross.
don't
wasted
get
my
out-
time.
I don't get out of the shower and then immediately shit.
I mean, I have, and it makes me feel like I need to jump back in.
Yeah.
Like
That's where the baby wipes come in handy.
Yeah.
Or wet wipes, you know
yeah,
what I mean?
yeah, yeah.
Use
I
those
just
wet
like
wipes, everybody.
for me, like when I get out, you dry off and shit. And what happens is generally like I'll go into the bedroom, and then I drop trowel and fucking put my undies on and shit and get going, and my towel just hits the floor, and at that point I'm just like, it's fucking done, one use, and just wash it.
Oh
man.
yeah, I don't let my towel hit the floor.
Yeah, I put it on the floor.
So-
I just wash it. Like it's just we
So
already
check
do
this out,
laundry.
though. Like when you start out, so this is a study that happened on a TV show called Nonstop.
Okay.
This is a Japanese life encyclopedia TV program. So they tested the bacterial content on bath towels just fresh, and they found that the fresh bath towels contained 190,000 count of bacteria already.
Yeah.
Okay.
Huh.
After 1 day of use, the number increased to 17 million,
Yeah.
90 times more than day zero.
Yeah.
So after 3 days, that soared to 87 million, and as high as 94 million on towels used for 1 week without being washed.
Does it change your mind?
No,
Zero. It
that's
doesn't
why
even
I
make
don't
you
get sick.
no.
That's my conclusion.
That might be the case. You tend to not get sick.
That's why my immune system's ironclad, because I don't worry
But see,
about
I feel
dumb
like
shit
I
this.
feel like you get sick, but you are just a man and you don't complain about your sickness because you come in many times and be like, I don't feel great.
Maybe.
But you don't like you don't moan and piss about it. You just like go on with your day. Like
Yeah.
you do get sick.
Yeah.
You do get sick. We all get sick. And then we'll say like, bro, I don't feel great today. You know what I
Yeah.
mean? But it's also like we're not like, I need to stay home. I need to honey. Like
That's true.
The dad
there
complaining.
are times I do wake up and I'm just like, eh.
Yeah, I mean it happens, man. That's because you
It
used that
happens,
towel.
yeah.
That's why it happened. You fucking took a shower. You had that fucking shitty towel.
Like that damn
And you're
towel
like,
again.
oh damn, I feel like crap.
But
dude.
also, I have more important things in my life to worry about than microbes on my towel.
I mean,
That's
I
true.
will say this, Greg. I have not heard of a story where somebody went to the hospital with a close to death experience because they washed themselves. You know what I mean? To be fair,
Right?
To be fair, like there's lots of shit in this room right now on this iPad, on my hands. Like
Oh,
there's
yeah.
shit all over the place.
Can you
man.
imagine what's growing in this microphone filter?
Oh my
Well, dude,
god, this
especially
thing
at that
is
studio.
fucking
Dude,
cake.
that bathroom in the studio there,
Oh yeah.
there's probably like 90 million microbes on just the door
It was just
handle
clean.
alone.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, it was actually just cleaned. And it was pretty clean. It's not bad. But my point is like you could go swab anything and really like get worried about how much bacteria is on it. Like we're built for that shit. You know what
Yeah.
I'm saying?
I mean, go back to the old days, the good old days. Nobody knew about any of this shit. Life was so much better.
I mean, the
Yeah,
towel
well,
thing
I
for
don't know
me,
about better.
like I've never once not used a towel because I was like, ew, there's bacteria on it. You
Yeah,
grab
like
the
if
towel.
it stinks, I
That's
won't
what I'm
use it.
saying. If
Oh,
it's like
yeah.
wet or like it just kind of has that like I've been used towel smell.
Yeah.
I'm just like, no. And that to me, that's literally like anytime you use it after you already used it.
Now there is a trick in here that they mention. If you want to remove odor from towels, all you have to do is boil the towel in hot water for 3 to 4 minutes,
What?
and then rinse it with water. There you go.
Who the
And it just
hell
disappears.
is boiling?
Why don't
a
you just
towel?
wash it normally? Like,
Yeah,
why
just
wouldn't you just
wash
throw
it
it
in
in the
hot
fucking
water.
washing machine?
Because the washing machine's not going to
It's not
bring it to the
boiling.
boil, okay?
Get all the bacteria out. The boiling will kill it. But who does
But
that?
the soap does.
Is this 1850? Like what the fuck are we doing
Yeah.
here?
It's like a natural way to get rid of it.
you put a
okay?
fire under your fucking porcelain tub and just hope, But you see people.
Oh, I mean, if something big happens and we lose all communications and all that shit, we might
Maybe,
have to
it's
start
true.
boiling
Maybe.
our shit.
So remember this, people. Boil the towels.
What
You don't want to die.
You've seen those
of
people
AIDS.
where they take like their old hats and their old clothes and shit, and like sheets and stuff, and they put them in the bathtub with the borax and shit, and let them soak for hours,
yeah.
and then it just gets brown, like just fucking nasty brown. Like I'm sure that would help a little bit if you did something like
just
that.
like
with
you
your
see, you see the videos where they put like all their fruit in a bowl, like strawberries in a bowl, and then they put it in like
Yeah.
salt water, and you see all the bugs and worms coming out of them.
Dude, it's
I
gross.
love those bugs in the because I love strawberries. So obviously they taste all right because I'll eat that shit up. You know what I'm saying? That's what I'm saying though. If you overthink any of this crap, like it becomes where you're like getting worried about something that's really not worth worrying about.
Oh yeah.
But at the end of the day, I prefer to have a fresh towel every time I take a shower or bath or anything.
Absolutely.
I prefer that.
It's the best.
Personally. It's just nice, especially when it's fresh out of the fucking the dryer, bro, and it's warm.
But you're right, Greg. That is a good point. I mean, the shit goes down. I mean, 1 cup sodium percarbonate in your wash bin and boil it.
Oh, it says right
Or
there.
not even that. It's just water, dude.
It says
Just boil
put the
water
towel in a wash basin, sprinkle 1 cup of sodium percarbonate evenly on the towels. Oh, and then you boil it. Hot water. Or 140, 176
just let it soak for 30 minutes.
Yeah, so you just want to get scalding water in that shit and just let it roll, dude.
Yeah.
I want to do that just for fun.
It's like
just to see the ickiness.
It's like an off-grid washing machine.
Yeah, man. Chris has got like a plunger in there, and he's just with a stick.
Yeah, man.
Just fucking brewing it up here.
Making it.
He's like, what are you guys doing tonight? I'm washing my clothes. It's going to take me 5 hours.
I'm brewing towels tonight, dude.
Cutting firewood. I got to wash my clothes later.
Exactly, right? So,
It's just one of those things, man. Like, even with clothes, like, rarely do you wear the same. Like, jeans are one thing. You know what I'm saying? Like, I wear pants multiple days sometimes. Like, as long as, like, not doing much. But towels, man, you get out of a shower, you're nice and fresh and clean. The last thing I want to do is rub something on that just smells like it's been used. Even if it smells clean, I'm like, no, thank you. Give me a fresh one.
Well, you bring up something funny because, like, I had somebody actually say, hey, this guy doesn't wash his jeans after he wears them once. Can you believe that? And I'm like, oh, I had to gulp, dude. I was like, dude, I don't wash my jeans after one usage. Like, come on.
Yeah, I don't. Who does that?
You shouldn't even gulp. You should look at him in the eyes and say, you're a fucking pussy. That's all you have to say. Because, like, who the fuck doesn't? If you do,
like,
you are
do you
psychopath.
shit your pants? Is that why you wash them? I don't know.
Well, I mean, listen, if you're like sweating, like I had a fucking drip through the other day. We were walking around. I was wearing those fucking khakis, dude, and man, my balls were soaked, bro. And it was, I stood up and I was like, what the fuck? It was the first time. This was a couple weeks back. Clearly, I didn't wear those pants again. Okay, I put them straight into the wash machine. I was like, this ball juice has got to go, and so that was it. But if you're just wearing jeans and you're not sweating that much and they're not dirty and shit's on them, like, who fucking cares, man?
Yeah.
Agreed.
It's not like underwear.
I go like a good week before I wash my jeans. I only have 1 pair of jeans, so.
Damn, I guess it's true. I've never really seen you wear a lot of jeans.
Yeah, if I wear them once, I just fucking fold them up, set them on the dresser, and they're good for the next.
Are those the Wranglers that you bought when you went down to Fort Worth?
Yeah.
Really?
I wear those
There we
all the
go.
time.
Man, mine shrunk up. They're like fucking high waters now. I don't know what happened.
Make some booty shorts out of them, dude.
I might have to do
Oh,
that.
yeah.
Please the wife.
Guys, fun episode, man. A lot of fun topics, dude.
Good times, everybody.
Yeah, man. Wash your towels more often, I guess. I don't know.
Or don't
Or
fucking
not,
worry
just
about
be
it.
a man. You know?
Be a man. Take that bitter towel and use it anyways. Fuck it.
There you
Yeah,
know what I'm saying?
that dirty towel, hang it up, use it again.
Yeah, use a blow dryer on it, man. Kill it with the heat. Greg, cheers to you, my friend. Chris, cheers to you. Thank you guys for watching the show. Make sure you go follow all of our accounts. They're all new, so get up there and follow and let us know what you think with those reviews.
Yeah,
Oh,
buddy.
yeah.